You're lying on the floor of a boat you don't remember boarding. The air smells like whetstone and copper. Above you, no stars, no sky, just rock close enough to scrape your knuckles. And somewhere ahead, in the dark, something is breathing. This is the Duat, the Egyptian realm beneath the world. And the boat you're on carries the sun itself. Not rising, not shining, dying. Every single night, the sun god Ra sinks below the western horizon and enters a place that would make any hell look tame. 12 gates, 12 trials, 12 chances to fail. If he doesn't make it through all of them before dawn, the sun never rises again. Not for you, not for anyone. But here's the part no one tells you. Ra doesn't make this trip alone, and he doesn't ride some magic craft that glides on its own. The boat moves because the dead row it. You, me, every soul that ever lived and passed through judgment. Hands on oars, pulling through black water. The afterlife isn't rest, it's a shift that never ends. To understand how strange this is, you need to forget every idea you have about what happens after death. Clouds, harps, peace. Throw all of it out. The Egyptians looked at the night sky and asked a question so basic, it's almost wild. Where does the sun go? And their answer was a story so detailed and precise that it mapped onto real star charts and real rituals performed by real priests in real temples. Every night, for thousands of years, the night was split into 12 hours, but not the kind you know, not 60 neat minutes each. Egyptian hours stretched and shrank with the seasons. In summer, when nights were short, each hour flew by. In winter, they dragged on for more than twice as long. The priests tracked this using groups of stars called deacons, fixed star clusters assigned to each hour. When a certain cluster rose above the horizon, a new hour began. The clock wasn't a device. It was the sky itself, turning above the desert like a slow wheel. Now picture Ra's boat crossing into the first gate. A massive door flanked by two figures. One holds a blade, the other holds fire. To pass, Ra must speak the right words. The dead must row in time, and the gate must open. If any piece fails, the boat stops. And behind it, pressing close, coils the chaos serpent Apophis, waiting for any pause. There are 12 of these gates. Each one is different. Some are guarded by scorpions, others by creatures with no name that survived into our language. The walls of the tomb of Ramesses VI show pit traps carved into the rock of the underworld, each with a label, each designed to swallow the unwary. This isn't vague myth. This is a blueprint for a cosmic obstacle course. But what about the rowers? Who are they? This is where the story gets personal. In the tomb of Seti I, carved deep in the Valley of the Kings, a relief shows rows of figures gripping oars. Their bodies are faint, see-through. They're dead, but their arms are locked in motion, pulling together, pushing the bark forward through the dark water. They don't speak. They don't rest. They row. These aren't passengers. They're the engine. Think about what that means for a moment. You die. You pass judgment. And your reward isn't paradise. Your reward is a job. The most important job there is. Without you pulling that oar, the sun stays buried. Your children wake to a sky that never brightens. The Egyptians built an afterlife where death doesn't erase you, but drafts you into the most critical crew in the cosmos. And the boat itself isn't even stable. At the halfway point, something happens that no simple retelling ever mentions. The vessel dissolves. Hour 6. The exact middle of the night. Ra's bark, called Manjet, the boat of millions of years, begins to break apart. Not from damage, from design. Its timbers glow, then scatter into golden dust. The lotus crest on its prow folds and drifts away. For a breath, there is no boat at all. Just Ra, floating in the void, surrounded by flecks of light. Then the light pulls together. New planks form. New symbols appear. Twin serpents rise on the prow where the lotus had been. A different vessel takes shape. This one is called Semiket, the boat of the dawn. The change is recorded in a papyrus held in Berlin. Deep in the text, the scribe switches the name. No fanfare, no ceremony, just a quiet shift. As if the most profound renewal in the cosmos happens like a heartbeat. One name becomes another. Night becomes the promise of morning. But the promise means nothing if Ra can't survive the second half. This is where the helper gods step in. Not all at once, one by one, at the hours where their powers matter most. Atum arrives and lifts the solar disk when it grows too heavy for Ra to hold. Shu, the god of air, summons winds that push the bark through stagnant water. Tefnut brings moisture to cool the fires that block certain gates. Neith, the ancient warrior goddess, rains arrows on the serpent guards that coil around the door frames. Each god appears, acts, and steps back. They don't stay. They rotate, like medics cycling through a field hospital. And still, through all of this, Apophis waits. The common version of the story puts the great serpent at the end. One big fight, one dramatic moment. But the texts tell a different story. Apophis doesn't wait for the final hour. He strikes early, he strikes often. He coils around the boat in the early hours. He rises from below at the midpoint. He blocks a gate near the end. Each time, different methods drive him back. Binding spells, ritual ropes, the burning eye of Ra. The most dramatic account comes from the temple at Edfu, where carvings describe a yearly festival in which priests reenact the slaying of the serpent. Real people, standing in a real temple, performing the same battle Ra fights every night. They speak the words, they pull the ropes, they act out the binding and the cutting, because the Egyptians believed that ritual doesn't just remember events. Ritual makes them happen again. Without the priests, Apophis might not stay bound. Without the ceremony, the night might not end. And this brings us to something most people miss entirely. The Duat is not hell. It's not punishment. It has nothing in common with eternal fire or torment. The Duat is a machine, a nightly cycle that keeps the universe running. When someone says, "Ashy Egyptian underworld," and you picture suffering, you're importing ideas from a completely different tradition. The Duat is closer to a power plant than a prison. The dead are workers. The gods are engineers. The serpent is entropy, the constant threat of breakdown. And the product of all this labor and danger and divine effort is a single thing: dawn. But even this framework has its limits. Some scholars argue the 12 hours are purely symbolic, just a way to organize moral lessons, not a sequence of real trials the sun endures. They point to the overlapping images in different texts. Sometimes the Duat is a series of caverns. Sometimes it's a river. Sometimes it's a corridor of doors. How can it be all of these at once? The answer might be that the Egyptians didn't see a problem with that. A river can also be a clock. A cavern can also be a gate. The texts don't clash. They layer the way a dream can be set in your house and also in a forest, and you don't question it until you wake up. The Duat works the same way. It's a place experience, not mapped, and the 12-hour structure gives that experience a rhythm, a spine, a drumbeat that carries the dead and the sun from dark to light. One thing is certain. The priests took it seriously enough to rehearse it every day. Temple logs from Karnak, broken as they are, record shift schedules. Priests rotating through night duties, timed to the stars, performing rites at each hour that mirrored what Ra was supposedly enduring underground at that exact moment. The sky above and the world below were in sync. When a certain star crossed the meridian, a priest lit a torch and spoke a spell. Below, in the myth, Ra passed a gate. The two events were one event. The line between ritual and reality didn't exist. So the next time you watch a sunset, consider what the Egyptians saw. Not an ending, a departure, the start of a 12-round fight in total darkness, crewed by the dead, guarded by gods, threatened by a serpent as old as time itself. And every dawn was proof that the fight was won. Not once, not long ago, last night. If this changed how you see the oldest stories we have, there's more waiting. Hit subscribe and stay for the next one. And somewhere beneath the horizon, the oars are already moving.